So what's going to happen if I don't give you my name?
Then you can be under arrest.
If you are going to threaten us with physical violence, you better make sure you're willing to go all the way, because I am.
The way the law works is if the law doesn't say you can't do it, then you can do it.
If you want to lock people up for not breaking laws,
all men are created equal is the idea that if it is wrong for one man to commit an act, it is wrong for all men to commit that act. Too often, members of our government exclude themselves from the ranks of equal men referenced by Thomas Jefferson when he said.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hendry and Craig Henry channels. We're doing a dual live stream today. We are going to talk about what happened over the weekend, over last weekend. Today is June 25th, 2024. I believe the events transpired on June 22nd, 2024 in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. So Carolina Fort Worth, a local activist, was out recording police activity, and we are going to show you the live stream in which the events transpired. We just want to give you a brief background. She was out live streaming some police activity. An officer that she had interacted with beforehand came and approached her and started giving her, presumably unlawful orders, as far as I can tell. And the rest we're about to watch. So we're going to start the live stream a little bit early on so you can see what's going on. And then we are going to kind of skip to the end so you can see what happened. And we're going to kind of commentate over what happened in the end. So here is that video now.
They hear I was over here and they're all coming. They think Manuel's with me. That's what the problem is. And we're back. Sorry about that. I don't know what I did. I really don't. It's so hard. It's got a brand new program to it. But now everybody, all these cops are coming up here. They must think they saw me. I know. They probably think Manuel's with me and he's not. That's why they came over here. That's the tow truck. That's their discussion over here. They're having a discussion over here. They're saying, okay, we're going to tell this, we're going to tell that. Let's see. What are we going to do? Where'd you, I bet it's a cop car that's broken. That's hilarious if it is. Predator ones. Predator tow truck drivers. They're the worst. Do we have a black officer? That's amazing. Yay. No, it's not. It's a white guy. No, he's Mexican. What's going on? Don't say something to me. I dare you. Fire. He said we were about to tow this car off.
So the police are towing cars away. They're kind of telling the tow truck drivers where to tow them. And it looks like the police are getting it wrong in some way, because somebody just said, look, I paid $30-some for this parking space. And the cops said they were going to tow some away. So obviously, if they're messing up like this is a matter of public interest. And Carolina Fort Worth is out reporting on this matter of public interest. We're going to skip to the end of the video to kind of see exactly what happened to her. We're going to get there. Boom.
No, I'm not going to before. Help! Right! Fire! 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 That's great community relations too. How do you know if they paid or not, ladies? Hey, ladies! Hey, ladies! Hey, ladies! Hey, Kruger! No, I'm not going to before. There's no investigation. There's no nothing.
You can go to the other side of the street or you're going to get arrested. I'm not warning you
What are
again.
you talking about?
Go to the other side of the street right
Why?
now.
Wait, tell me why first.
You're under arrest. You're not.
No, I'm not under it. Okay, you
Stop resisting.
So at this point in time, Carolina is knocked out. I mean, you can hear a few impacts before. We're going to go back and watch this few seconds a couple of times. But she is knocked out right now. And you're going to hear that cop say, "Stop resisting," again. Here it is.
Stop resisting.
Now, at this point, we can only speculate that he's still beating her up. I mean, she's still beat up pretty badly. I don't know if anybody saw the thumbnail video, but she got assaulted brutally. I mean, you would think this woman just escaped a war zone the way she looks. I mean, this one officer, Kruger, beat her to a pulp. All right, so we're going to continue on with it, and then we're going to get into what happened next.
You're under arrest. You're not.
No, I'm not under it. Okay, you
Stop resisting.
He hits her there. He probably slams her on her head there and breaks
Stop
her
resisting.
arm and says, "Stop resisting," again and again.
She's bleeding.
And I want to make something very clear. This is about a few things. What just happened to Carolina? It's about ego. It's about control. It's just, I mean, that's basically it. This cop went over and he said, "I'm going to take control of this situation. I'm going to impress these two young ladies, and clear the scene for them." And so he takes this mortal threat, this 60-year-old woman, Carolyn, and he assaults her so brutally that the girl's next exclamation is, "She's bleeding. You know, we got to get her to a hospital." This is absolutely disgusting behavior. And before we go on, before I tell you what happened next, I just want to show you that this is another example of why the state is just too dangerous to tolerate. And since I said it like that, I'm going to actually play a clip from a speech by Dr. Robert Higgs, in which he outlines that this is nothing new. This kind of stuff has happened for decades, and why we still tolerate this kind of state apparatus is beyond me, that's for sure. So I'm going to share the tab. I'm going to then play it for you. Here we go.
Everyone can see the immense harm the state causes day in and day out, not to mention its periodic orgies of mass death and destruction. In the past century alone, states caused hundreds of millions of deaths, not to the combatants on both sides of the many wars they launched, whose casualties loom very large, but to, quote unquote, their own populations, whom they have chosen to shoot, bomb, shell, hack, stab, beat, gas, starve, work to death, and otherwise obliterate in ways too grotesque to contemplate calmly. J.R. Rummel, who spent a lifetime compiling data on this so-called democide, non-war state killing, now has a total of 262 democide victims in the 20th century, 262 million.
So this is nothing new. I mean, this is something that states, governments all around the world, all throughout history have been doing to their own population. Although in this particular instance, in this particular age, Carolyn was able to record what they did to her. And we were all able to see just how petty and just how childish and just how petulant all of these people are. I mean, not only do you have this gentleman here who's going to drop slam a 60-year-old woman to the ground to impress two younger girls, But you've got two younger girls armed with tasers and guns. Who's going to allow an elderly woman to get attacked by this young man? And this is absolute insanity. All right. I don't know how else to put it. So after this, Carolyn was transported to the hospital, and then she was transported to the jail, which means that the local prosecutors, and this is a point that I think gets skipped a lot, it means that the local prosecutors knew that this happened to Carolyn. And instead of charging Mr. Kruger with a crime, instead of saying, hey, he just beat the heck out of this old woman, we have got to get this guy who's a danger to the public off the streets. We've got to take him off the streets. No, they charged Carolyn. And they're putting Freddy Krueger, they're keeping him on the payroll. They're saying this guy's too valuable to let go of. We can't get rid of him. Carolyn's a criminal, apparently, to the prosecutor. He's put 4 different charges on her, I believe. And so that's kind of where we want to go next. We want to, yeah, exactly, Joe Cool. They stack charges on Carolina instead of charging the guy who committed the real crime on that day. And so this is the thing, is that, people talk about sue the prosecutor, all this stuff. I don't know. Suing isn't enough. I mean, at this point, they're physically attacking us. I think we need to recognize it for what it is. The police state is here. We need to see it for what it is. It's been here for a long time. But we need to recognize this for what it is. These people are attacking us for literally nothing. All we have to do is disobey their any whim. I mean, anything that they say could land you in Carolyn's position. And if you don't have a camera on you all the time like Carolyn does, God help you even more. I mean, thank God she had a camera, and thank God she has a certain attorney on her side who we're going to discuss here in just a second. I'm actually going to bring him up right now. We're going to bring up CJ Grisham is a law attorney in Texas. He is a civil rights attorney, and he is a criminal defense attorney. He calls it innocent defense because all the clients that he takes on are innocent people, right? And he means that sincerely. I mean, his dismissal rate is absolutely incredible. I think we'll have to get the statistics compiled on it here after a while, because he's only been practicing law for, I think, just a bit over a year. And he's gotten more dismissals than most attorneys have in a decade. So we need to go in and we need to look at this update that he's given us. We're going to go through a few. He's given us 4 or 5 Carolyn updates. So we are going to look at that. And by the way, the description for both of these channels, for CJ Grisham's channel and for Carolina in Fort Worth's channel, are in the description below. So, and that should be for both channels, the Craig Henry and the Henry channel. So we are going to share the update 3 where the bond was paid by some very good Samaritan who we do not know the name of right now, but maybe we'll learn it in this live stream in a few minutes. This was the 3rd update. This was when her bond was paid. I believe it was 36 hours or so after she was taken into custody. This whole time she's in a severe critical medical condition, and she's bleeding. She can barely stand. Her arm is broken, it seems. Her eyes are like swollen shut. Her head is leaking. It's absolutely awful. So this is CJ Grisham, her attorney, on the way to pick her up from jail.
I've been told that, I did look, her Carolyn's bond was set at $4,000. And it appears somebody posted the bond, I think. The website's still showing no. I don't know if what I was told was that they had collected the money or if they had posted the bond. So I am trying to find that out and get confirmation. I would ask if you're somebody here that was planning to do that. I think we're either close or almost right at the cash bond number. I know personally I've been sent $800. So that leaves about $3,200 to post the cash bond. And the reason I would prefer to do that, if we're close or at that number, is so that money comes back to her when it's over, instead of just spending $400 and losing it to the system. And so I'm trying to find that out, but I did see that her bond was set at $1,000 per bogus charge for a total of $4,000. And then I was sent a text this morning saying that someone had posted her bond, but if you look at the website, it still says no, it hasn't been posted. So I am on my way up to the DFW area. I have a trial this morning, and I've asked anyone that talks to her before I do to have her call me, leave a message. She's got my cell phone number. And then I will be there this afternoon once I get out of trial. It should be a pretty quick trial. It's like I said, it's a very short, small civil case between two people. So I don't think I should be there that long, but the trial doesn't start until...
All right, everybody. So we actually have some breaking news to bring you. Manuel Mata just spoke at the Dallas-Fort Worth meeting. We have got that footage for you. We're going to listen to what he has to say. Manuel Mata is a close friend and another police accountability activist out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. He has a lot of respect from a lot of people, including myself. We're going to listen to what he had to say about his close friend, Carolina in Fort Worth, getting attacked, brutally attacked by these thugs, these armed thugs that are sponsored by the city of Dallas-Fort Worth. Let's watch. We're going to bring it up for you here.
Manuel Mata. I live in District 9, and I have a problem with lawsuits where people get hurt by police officers. And I would like y'all to notice a certain police officer, because y'all didn't name him, or they didn't name him. I know who he is personally because he pulled a gun on me for crossing the street on 7th Street. I just got that case dismissed. And he's not de-escalating, he's escalating. And I don't want y'all to wait until he kills somebody for y'all.
You can tell, by the way, that he is emotional here. He's scared. And I can attest, having spoken at city council meetings, this is not a fun thing to do. This is not a very calming thing to do. Your heart rate's up because the police are all in the room. You know that they're just waiting to retaliate against you for talking about them in a public meeting. And the city council members are not on side. I mean, you're up there basically talking to a brick wall. But Manuel Mata's up here doing this, and kudos to him for doing it. Let's continue.
For y'all to step in and put him in a desk or give him paid suspension, right? Because that would be the least that we're asking. Now, she doesn't even want to come in here. And that's crazy for filming. And right here, I have this. And this was done in 2022, where it identifies auditors. It's what she is. So they've known how to do it. They've had case laws. And none of this states that they have the ability to grab a woman and throw her on the ground, split her head open, her eye and her lip. Nowhere does that in any policy, because any force that's unnecessary is excessive. Now I'm asking y'all, because I personally destroyed a wall that was in my neighborhood because we allowed a police officer, Buddy, to come in there and show us his heart. And what this officer did, the one that I took out, he built 5. So now it's harder for us to listen to what they're talking about. And it only addresses one problem. Are y'all gonna address this, or y'all gonna agree with what he did? Because that's all I'm asking. Look, Mr. Nettles, I appreciate what you asked for, because we do need to see that body cam footage, right? Because if an officer has the idea in his head that he can run around and grab everybody, because this policy, this class that they took doesn't state that. And I've read it. And they're mad at me because I understand it specifically. And all I'm doing is showing everyone else what I said 5 years ago. Y'all need to control these people, because the next one is not going to be up here to be able to be out there or nowhere. You're going to make funeral arrangements for them. He's a problem. He doesn't understand de-escalation.
Council, that's the last of our speakers on the consent agenda. We can move on to vote on the consent agenda. I can entertain a motion. Thank you. Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Any other outbursts from the audience, I have to have you removed from the council chamber.
That's
Nope,
ridiculous.
you're not on the list, Mr. Willoughby.
We're going to
Please
see how they
council.
vote. Let's see how they
Ma'am.
vote here.
Marshals, if you can remove individuals that have outbursts from the audience. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
They're going to order the police to escort anybody who's angry out of the audience. Anybody who's angry with them for hiring armed thugs.
Verdano, the HR director, and I was surprised because she wanted to take my CCPD representative and move him over to the Firefighters and Police Civil Service Commission. But totally in line with Lee's a great guy. I just want to point out intellectual property attorney with Kelly Hart. He's an adjunct professor with the University of Houston School of Law, as well as Texas A&M. He was a Houston police officer for 8 years. And went to night school to get his law degree. He worked at the Department of Commerce. He's got a Bachelor of Science from Texas State University, Master's of Public Administration from the Bush School, and a JD from the University of Houston. So very qualified. Thanks, Lee, for your willingness to serve. I appreciate you being here today. And with that, I'll move to approve.
Motion is second. Please vote.
What are they talking about? They're talking about...
Marshals, I've got several removals that need to take place. This gentleman that's filming in the back needs to go. Mr. Banks, you have to go. Unless you can sit down, that would be great. We've got a lot of agenda items to get through. We appreciate your concerns, but there's a lot for the council to
do with the police officer.
And opened it up for the community to come in there on their own time. Chris Harder was there present as well. And there at Lincoln.
So they just removed everybody from the meeting that wasn't happy with what they did. That's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. Well, we're going to bring up Joe Cool to the stage. He's coming up here with us. And we're going to go over the next update as well that took place with CJ in Carolina when she got out of jail. And this is one that really, it's really inflammatory because it's disgusting what they did to that poor woman. I can't stand it. So here we go. We're going to bring up Joe Cool. Joe Cool, how's it going?
That's good, man. Good to see you. You know that, right?
Yeah, hey, good to see you too, man. It's good to see you. It's unfortunate that we're here talking about this, man. This is a tragedy that happened. I don't understand how we allow this to keep going. What's your take on this?
Well, you really hit the good points, right? That instead of coming clean, they cover it up. Instead of correcting the behavior, they double down and show that they are going to get behind them. And until you break them, until the public comes out and and they get all this publicity, that's the only thing that seems to stop them. So thank God she got friends, and thank God for CJ.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they are so blessed out there in Texas to have CJ Grisham on side with this. I don't even know what the situation is with that, but I know that she is in good hands in the legal system with him. Man, I think that what this guy did to her, it really constitutes, in my opinion, an arrest immediately and a full dismissal of all of Carolyn's charges. And I think that I'm not even shy about saying it. I would pressure everybody to call these people, to call the state's attorney's office, to call these public officials that are using their power to weaponize the legal system against peaceful individuals like Carolina, Fort Worth. I'm disgusted by it.
How do we pull that off, right? Because it starts at the two young ladies who are out there who saw that nothing rose to arrest. But then when this goon come and slams her, they don't do anything still. It starts with them. And then the DA who chose to accept those charges, he's well aware that this dude is stacking charges, and he's okay with that. The judge, the officials over them, morning, great dude. It's the entire thing is corrupt, man. It's going to take a lot of us. I don't even know how to do it, man. I'm trying to still figure it out. I don't even know how to, body blow, leg sweep these guys or something.
Yeah, well, there's a few blueprints in history, but I'm afraid that they're considered very radical nowadays. Yeah. They're considered that way for a reason. It's because the powers that be know that what they're doing is far worse than anything that happened to citizens of the United States in the past. This is insane, and we have the highest incarceration rate in the world, and that's the highest incarceration rate per capita, but also just en masse. We have the most criminals in this country, the most criminalized activities in this country. I mean,
Yes, there
you
you
could
go.
act the
Better
same
said.
way anywhere else and not get kidnapped for it. But
Yeah,
here,
say
you're
that,
going to
man.
get kidnapped.
Yes, better said. Yes, you make everything legal for a ticket. Excuse me. I saw a lady, old grandmother, 76 or something, didn't want to get out the car. She just spent her last $80 on groceries or something. The guy gives her a ticket and she's complaining. I can't afford it. I just spent my last money. He give her the ticket, tell her to sign it. She says, I'll take it, but I won't sign it. Snatch her out the car, tase her a couple times while she's on the ground. And all of this is acceptable because what? Because she didn't sign your $80 ticket? You are a heartless beast. You want that money at all costs. And we agree. We in general, not me and you, I'm sure, but we agree. Well, she should have just signed the ticket. Just do what they say. And if you don't, they're supposed to break your window, take your car, and all of this shit over $100 ticket. They get to take your fucking multi-$1,000 vehicle. And we now, as the sleep sheep that we are, we don't just agree. We encourage the next man. Just pay the ticket, man. Just do what they say. Just comply. Just give them your ID. We're so far from baseline. It's dumb.
Yeah, absolutely. And their actions encourage us to act in the way you just described. I mean, who wants to get dragged out of a car or have their multi-$1,000 vehicle smashed into pieces by an armed thug on the side of the road? This is serious stuff that we're talking about, and you've got to be equipped with financial means or some serious heart in order to resist their ridiculous and unlawful demands.
That might be, and that scares me because everyone who does this has nothing to lose, meaning most of us are not wealthy, right? The wealthy have too much skin in the game. They're not going to do what we do. And it looks like you just hit on something. We are going to need, this is expensive. Lawyers are expensive. Battling the court system is expensive, long. It looks like money is a lot of money is going to be part of the puzzle piece. And I'm not good at that shit. I'm like lowly. I don't know how to make no fucking millions just to dedicate to fight the system.
Yeah, no, I think it's a big problem. And I think in the past, people have had, people don't see a problem until it affects them, right? Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah,
and so when this problem starts affecting the wealthy, and it will, it already has started affecting the wealthy. I mean, certainly more and more richer kids are getting arrested in college, or getting kicked out of college just because so much activity has been criminalized. Kids trying to have fun has just been criminalized. So it is affecting these people. And, some of their kids are falling to the opioid epidemic, which has been perpetuated by the federal government. And so people are really waking up to it. And that's kind of where the funding comes from. It comes from these people who are being affected by it. And they say, you know what, I want to actually contribute to a cause that's purposeful. And so what CJ's cause out in Texas that's a purposeful cause. He's out there trying to get qualified immunity just completely abolished. He wants to defend people that are innocent. I think that's a very worthy endeavor. And I think that, that's a very worthy endeavor to contribute towards. And I think that this, in particular, this Carolina incident, I don't know if they've got any donation pages. I don't know what's going on with that.
Nor do I. Yeah.
I think CJ always has his Cash App. Carolyn always has their Cash App up there. So hopefully people can go and contribute to them, because this is probably going to be costly if the state wants to, and if the judge allows it, which they always do. they can drag these ridiculous charges on, these non-charges, for months and months and possibly
for years. Yes, this shit could, and then the lawsuit could be another 4 or 5 years. I'm battling 2 traffic tickets and a paraphernalia, a weed bowl. I've been battling that for over 2 years, just tickets in fucking Texas. I go back in August in Texas, man.
And every time they drag somebody like you or like CJ back to court, it's just another few hours. It's another set period of time
I'm in
that
Chicago.
You could not be doing something else.
They are well aware that I'm in Chicago, and they call me up there just to keep offering me deals. I told last time, I live nowhere near here. They're just fucking with me. I've spent more in gas than I would have paid in the fucking fines because I'm stubborn.
Yes. Yeah, no, and that was the same with me in Kentucky. I mean, I spent way too much money fighting them, and no lawsuit will ever come of it, but we beat the case.
Very good. I saw that smile creep across your face. You're happy, motherfucker.
But hey, we're gonna look at this last update here.
Okay.
This is from CJ Grisham on this is when Carolina just gets out of jail. And this is pretty awful stuff. I'm sure you've seen it, but
I
for
showed
anybody,
my mother this, would know
Yes.
what I'm out there doing. Yeah.
yes, it's awful. So here,
different updates and trying to let people know like when you were moved and when we found out you were alive.
Yeah, I didn't even I don't even remember.
No, it's looking at me right now.
I don't even remember being in the. I don't even remember being in the ambulance. If I even took the ambulance to the hospital.
Okay, here we go. Looks like it's. All right, hey everybody. I am. Carolyn just got out. I guess about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah,
something like that. About 20 minutes ago, and I can confirm that she's alive. She's right here in front of me. She needs to go home and get some rest, and obviously clean herself up a little bit. Do you want people to see you?
Yeah, they can see what it looks like.
All right. So here's our little hero here.
This is what happens when you get excessive force under you.
Yep. But I will
Terrible.
tell you that there has been an outpouring from around the country of people
Otto, I
sharing
need
the
to
story, making
call
phone
you. I gotta
calls.
go to Texas.
I think the fact that nobody's returned my phone calls means they know they're in trouble.
Yeah.
So we're going to fight these charges.
Got my arm all messed up.
So tell them everything that happened. Like what are your injuries?
I don't know. I don't remember going from the place I got injured to the hospital. I don't remember any of that. I don't remember going to the jail. So I was knocked unconscious, but I know I got stitches here. And CJ thinks I had some stitches here.
Yeah, she's got stitches in her right eye.
My elbow was knocked out.
it's just so terrible, man. I don't even. When I saw that for the first time, I mean, all I thought of was this guy needs to be dealt with. Probably.
Right.
I don't think that anything in the legal system has got what it takes to deal with that.
No, not in the current legal system, the way it exists. Actually, if you read some of the laws, they do have remedies and shit that never occur. All that Title 18, 241, 240. So
Yeah.
that shit goes up to death and fines and jail. But no cop ever, he can deprive you of your rights all fucking day. He can beat on you. None of that shit ever happens. And did you see what Otto wrote? Hold on a second. Today's show is brought to you by Officer Tatum Helmets, the only helmet approved for cop watchers' safety by Officer Tatum, now available with the optional chin strap. We gotta wear vests and fucking helmets out there pretty soon, bro.
Yeah, and I mean, if we started doing that, they would just use that as an excuse to say, well, a heavily armored man approached me and I had to, unload my firearm on him. So it just causes, I mean, honestly, I don't think there's anything we can do. They're becoming the more that we try to become transparent, the more that we try to expose their activities. I mean, and not even expose. I mean, we call it exposing, but they're open with it too. We just try to record when they do it, and then they can't control the narrative. And when we do that, they hate it so badly. They're pushing back. I mean, they're pushing back.
The narrative. I'm sorry to cut you off, but you are right. They've had the mainstream media, anyone who reports on a cop must come to them hat in hand and accept what they say, ask nice questions, and portray them kindly, or else you won't get access again. Historically, that's been it.
That's right.
Now they're losing that shit. Social media, they don't get to control our stories. So yes, they want to control us.
Yeah, and this is why, by the way, this is why nobody trusts mainstream media anymore, because we have a live stream video of what happened, and we have pictures and video evidence of what Carolyn looks like after this police officer got her hands on her. But this is what the mainstream media will write about it. This is this is a newspaper in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This is the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. This is what they wrote. So Fort Worth council member wants special meeting after arrest and injury of police critic. A Fort Worth police officer used force to take Carolyn Rodriguez into custody as she recorded live video near a crime scene on Sunday, June 23rd, 2024, according to the police department. Rodriguez suffered injuries and was taken to a... I mean, it just was by happenstance.
It just happened, right?
It just happened. He just suffered the injuries, and was taken to a hospital by the nice police officers before she was booked into jail. By the way, the nice police officers, I added that in, but she was booked in, and then they say she was booked into jail. Fort Worth City Council member Chris Nettles wants more information about the arrest of 60-year-old police critic Carolyn Rodriguez in the West 7th District early Sunday morning. Rodriguez, who regularly posts videos of police encounters on YouTube and frequently criticizes the Fort Worth Police Department at City Council public comment meetings, was arrested just after 3:30 a.m. Sunday on a charge for failing to comply with police orders, according to a police press release. She sustained injuries during the arrest and was transported to a hospital before being booked into jail. I mean, you cannot get any more, watered
Vague,
down.
yes, vague. Shouldn't there be some use of force shit? I mean, everybody got to write a use of force report after. Was that included? Did they, their version will say she struggled or whatever? I'm still interested. Did they say how she got to the ground, how she got the injuries? did she jump? Did he fall on her? I'm interested.
I'm interested too, and that really is the big question, because we heard some contact after the camera goes dark, but we can't see anything about what happened. I mean, for all we know, she was out and he was still hitting her.
It does sound like as soon as she hit, she was out. Right? I don't think that she stayed conscious after that.
No.
And it sounds like she takes one deep breath, like when she started snoring, and then he says, stop resisting. I can't imagine after all that damage and her face is cracked open and she's not making a sound, and it sounds like she's breathing.
Yes.
That she's resisting you at the same time. There will be no fucking camera footage for this, guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't assume so, especially not from Dallas Fort Worth police. I mean, this is absolutely. Do you remember a few months ago, a man was stopping? He stopped basically an adult from touching younger kids. Do you remember this story out of Dallas Fort Worth?
I don't, not yet, no.
Man, I don't know if I can find it. I forget who did the story on it, but basically this gentleman saw an adult touching younger kids at a birthday party. So he goes over and he takes care of the guy, right?
Yes, I remember that because he had family there with him, I think.
Yeah.
And they arrested him or something, beat him
They
up or
beat
something.
him to a pulp. They beat him. They gave him the Carolina treatment. They beat him to a pulp too. They're known for this stuff. These are the same people that I'm pretty sure have been harassing Harvey Freebird, that have been harassing Manuel Mata. These people are evil. I'm sure that they've had something to do with other people as well, but these are the names that spring to mind. These people are awful individuals. I can't put it any other way. And people say, oh, well, you just don't like them. They give me reasons not to like them.
Well, yeah,
they beat up older women. This is tragic.
And down to the smaller stuff too. They are really shitty. Like they'll arrest Mata at, I don't know, more than like 100 feet away and that type of shit. I've been out with Mata. They seem to just bully him on smaller shit. Not just him. I've seen CFW just get trespassed for no good reason off of everything. My point is, they will do everything from harass you over your driver's license to beat you up and break open your face and everything in between.
Yes, yeah, and they'll all pat each other on the back for it as well. I mean, they love it. That's earning your stripes without earning your stripes. I mean, that's a given. I know that out here in Indiana, it's the same way, and I don't like to go on and on about it, but they're escalating all over the country. I mean, they did this in Arizona with Direct D. They've done this in Indiana with me, and they're doing it in Kentucky with a guy named Fort Public Safety. They did it I'm pretty sure they did it in Texas and Arizona with James Freeman before. I mean, it's nothing new. They've done it a lot, but they're really escalating. They're upping their game, and the prosecution, the sheriffs, I'm pretty sure the judges, all of these people, I'm almost convinced that they are associating behind the scenes to say, hey, look, when these certain characters come around, these accountability people, let's do everything we can to subvert their fair trial. Let's make sure that they just don't get that, and that they have to really fight their way. I mean, most people have to go to court or to go to jail and then fight their thing through the appellate court, just like Chile de Castro is doing right now in Nevada. It's insane.
It looks like I'm gonna have to fucking try and sue over these traffic tickets and all of that shit over in Texas. You get, even for a traffic ticket, you get a jury. It's only a 6-person jury, but you get that. And And after I've given them all this shit, they won't give me any records, won't give me any discovery. The judge is talking to the guy. They're having communications with the DA outside of me. And now they sent me a letter saying I don't get to have a jury since I called up there and told the judge that I was sending her some shit. I've been up there 5 times. I haven't even seen you yet. But after I filed a bunch of paperwork, suddenly the next time I called up there, they put her on the phone. And she explained to me that they had agreed to give me a continuance. I told her, agreed with who? I haven't asked for no continuance. You have an ex parte communications about me, and I sent her a bunch of more requests to dismiss and all that. That, I don't know how many months, probably close to a year ago. And now I'm getting something else again in the mail saying that, you know what? Yeah, you don't get a jury trial. You don't get none of the things you asked for. All of it goes in front of the judge that you're blaming. So, you know, looks like this is over tickets. Looks like I'm gonna have to sue. I don't even know. I'm gonna fucking call Liberty Freak when this shit's done. That's my legal advisor. Over tickets, man. Who the fuck can fight these fucking mammoth beasts?
No, nobody. And that's well, I mean, we can fight them. And I'm starting to think that I might just be fighting them myself in most courts, because I'm going to be honest with you, man. I mean, I just was in a court in Lake County, Indiana, so up by Chicago, up by you.
Yeah.
And I heard the public defenders discussing what they like to call sovereign citizens with the court bailiffs. And they were talking about them, and they were saying, oh, yeah, you know, I represent, you know, a couple of those sovereign citizens. They're just a bunch of idiots, you know. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do for them. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm thinking to myself, wait, you represent these people?
We can tell that,
you know,
yeah, we can tell that that he is not footing your bill, because if I were paying your bill, you do much better at representing me. We can tell that he's not footing your bill. You have no interest. I read somewhere, I think they only get, I'm going to misquote the numbers. It was only a couple $100, $250 or something for a misdemeanor and $450 for a felony, and that's all these guys get to represent that entire case. So they try to get you to plead out and get it over with as quick as possible.
Yeah, and I mean, even if they're obligated to represent you, there's no obligation to do a good job. That's something that's well known. These people, you know,
they got to see the judge every day, not you, right? They got to go back and see the judge. They represent you and fight the judge. You go home. They got to go back and see that judge every fucking day. So who is they more concerned about, you or that fucking judge?
Yeah, absolutely. They're concerned about the judge, the prosecutor, and the police, especially because those certain demographics are way more likely to vote if they're running for public office than the regular citizen is. I want to give a quick thanks to Arm with Harmony for the membership, for getting a membership, and for gifting a membership. Thank you very much. But yeah, I mean, and this is something that I think that they're doing. See, every time that an auditor, every time that an accountability activist, every time that basically anybody, any regular old Joe beats one of these ridiculous cases, it reduces their credibility as a state apparatus. And that's something that they hate. But they know that most people don't have the resources or the confidence in their own case.
They count on it. And you just made me think we got to highlight any small victories. I got to make more of an effort because that will crush their confidence. They hate it. And it just will be for that local court whose confidence is crushed. Their ego is a little more vulnerable now. So cats like me and you need to let more people know. At least on my channel, I'm going to try to keep that in mind. When there are victories, let these people know you're not invulnerable.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And when this stuff happens, when the victories come, I think that there's certainly some need. There's a need. There's not some. There's a clear need to go and question these public officials. I don't care if it's when they're leaving the courthouse. Just say, hey, why did you ever sign that probable cause affidavit with the guy who used free speech or was like recording as somebody with a camera and doing nothing else? Why did you ever sign that? You know, why was he ever allowed to sit in jail for that long?
Yes. How does that even occur, right? How does that?
Yeah, how does that sit with you that you allowed that to happen on your watch? I mean, somebody needs to come and ask these people those kind of questions. And the thing is I think that when we go and do that kind of stuff, we put ourselves so much on the line, because when you go and talk to a public official like a prosecutor or a judge, people don't realize the power they have.
Yes.
They have so much power. They just go and they literally swipe it. With a judge, it's literally a swipe of a pen. And you are being hunted by paid hunters. That's the deal.
When you go there, I got a video I'm working on now. When you go there, you probably leave. I know I do with a caravan of police cars when I leave the fucking courtroom. And sometimes I get pulled over. They're looking for a reason to pull you over. But I got the video of these guys, the body cam. The last time I was in there, me and some friends saying, all right, let's record them and see which cars they get into and plotting because we went up there and filmed, Joe.
Yeah.
They can and will hurt you.
Yeah, and they know they can too. They know they can, and they'll get away with it.
But,
and it's a quid pro quo as well. I mean, there's obvious protection for these people, these judges and prosecutors. It's obvious. And
I don't comment normally Henry on the trolls, but I got a good one in here. He said, I drove through the night to Denver. I disappeared. I'm a famous and murdered someone. I'm a famous BLM member. I fucking I got fucking trolls over in your fucking room. I must be blowing up, man. I must be doing something right.
Man, the trolls, they love it over here for some reason. I don't know why, but hey, you know what? That guy can just continue feeding the algorithm and helping, what you say get out there. So as far as I'm concerned, thanks for being here, shouting it loud.
Yes, you really make my head swell with importance, man.
Absolutely. He's famous now. So, yeah. So, but man, I think that getting back to what happened in Dallas-Fort Worth, I think that as far as solutions go to the problems, and I don't mind if anybody else wants to come up here. I think on the Henry channel, the link is still pinned in the live chat. But if anybody wants to come up here, we can discuss what we can do to stop this kind of stuff from happening in the near future, because it's something that it's a question that would stump most people. It does stump most people. I mean, it stumps me, and I'd be a liar if I said I have the answers.
Yes.
And that's why we need to talk about this kind of stuff. We need to understand new ways of how we can progress into the future, because this kind of stuff, if it's allowed to continue, it's only going to get worse. That's the fact. It's only going to escalate. This happens in every single situation, and sometimes it doesn't take very long. I mean, we forget how long it took for from between World War I and World War II, how totalitarian the Nazi regime got in Germany, and how quickly it escalated in the Soviet Union. It was like a 40-year span of time.
You're right, and millions.
So so we're looking at something that's potentially very dangerous. We're looking at people getting thrown in the gulag for speech. Me personally, I spoke at a city council meeting in a town called Linton, Indiana, and I was charged with a Class B misdemeanor of false informing. They say that I lied, and of course I didn't lie. They just don't keep records of themselves committing crimes. So,
Carolina with that first charge, raising alarm or something. Anyone looks at the tape, they should immediately, a judge, anyone should be like, oh, you guys just gonna ignore me? Fire, murder, rape. Anyone is like, no, she was not raising alarm. No one was in danger of actually believing what she was saying. And any judge or whoever gave her that charge and agreed to it, that person should be punished, sat down for a couple weeks. Here's a fucking video. You will not treat these people like that, because they'd get a benefit of a doubt to the cop. Oh, he had a bad day. You'd be like, he pushed me in the chest with his flashlight. Well, it's tough. He had a hard day, all of that shit. But they look for ways to crush you and look for ways to free the people who they like.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And this is just a recording for what he's talking about. This is what Carolina was saying. I mean, she was not raising alarm. You make a very valid point. Here it is.
How do you know if they paid or not? How do you guys know if they paid or not? Oh, they're going to ignore me too. Help, rape, fire, 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 fire. That's great community relations too.
Yeah, so she's not raising alarm. She's clearly being sarcastic and making fun of these people, because no matter what was happening to her, they don't care. I mean,
they didn't turn around. If it was so alarmful, where are the people who she could have possibly alarmed? The cops didn't see it. And clearly, in my opinion, she's doing what's right there. They're ignoring her. You guys are out here towing cars with electronic so-and-so. How do you know who's paid and how they're late? That's what a fucking someone with a camera should ask. That's a logical question, and a cop should have a canned answer for it. She shouldn't have been the first person out there who asked them that. No way she ends up on the ground, beat up, get away from me or else I'll slam you on the ground. You got to do time for that.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Well, and this is the thing that I say about it, Joe, and I understand that perspective. My emotions tend to make me want to agree with it. By the way, before I go into this, I want to say, Otto, that's a great point. If what you're saying is true, if Kruger was in the car when she said that, he had to have either gone back and watched the live stream or he was watching her live stream at the time. And so that's a great point from Otto the Watchdog there. That's brilliant. Thanks for bringing that up. But my perspective on it is that clearly we cannot trust these judges. And when I say these judges, I mean, Joe, I mean, I like you. I think you're a good guy. I really love your work. I think that you do brilliant cop watching, but I wouldn't trust you as a judge because you are a biased individual. You don't like some people and you like other people. I mean, I'm the same way. I don't like public officials and I like private individuals. That's who I am.
I don't think I could be a judge. I couldn't judge you and get in your shoes. I would.
Exactly.
That's not something I want to do.
This is the point I'm trying to make. Nobody can. Nobody's smart enough. Not. I don't care how many college degrees you have. I mean, this is just ridiculous. The thought that a human being is a fit candidate to decide what is the fit.
Won't that make him a god? No one is qualified that position. You give a man that position. You say this is your court. You can make all the rules. Even it don't even have to be fucking legal. You're a judge. Just do a judge's order. You make him a small god.
Even if he subverts the Constitution, they allow it because he's a judge. Yes. And this is my point: is that instead of punishing these people, we should strive to take the higher ground and say, look. We don't want you to sit in jail. That's not what we're advocating. But we advocate that you release the power that you claim to hold. We ask that you give back or completely retract the idea that you have a legal authority over another human being, so much so that you can go over to them, give them an order. Let's just say give them an order on public property or on property that they don't own. And then because somebody doesn't follow that order, you beat the crap out of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Give that power back. That's unacceptable. If you do that, you're going to be dealt with just like everybody else. And who am I to say how people are going to be dealt with? That's for the market to decide. That's for people to come up with, people much smarter than me. But if people will consent to it, I assume that it will be a great system. And that would be, I think, the system that we need because
you
this government.
Assume the way it is for us. If they had the same rules, I can beat you up or pull a gun on you for no fucking good reason unless my life was in danger. I couldn't just slam you up, tell you to move, get off of the fucking street corner, go over there. I can't do that shit if the police had the same rules and eventually judges and all of that shit as well had the same rules. If they make a mistake, if I make a mistake, I go to jail. That cop makes a mistake like that, he needs to go to jail. Fuck qualified immunity. He needs to bear responsibilities like everybody else. And then we can start with a system where these people would be afraid because there are consequences to their actions. They would be afraid to do these godly things. I used the wrong word. These horrible things.
Yes. And I'll say about the qualified immunity thing, and that comes from a necessity. I mean, the thing to do with the state is that it is founded on it's founded on basically the idea that they are allowed to commit two crimes. That is assault and theft. Yes. Right. That's the two crimes that they need in order to fund their apparatus.
And kidnapping, kidnapping. Don't forget that.
Right. Kidnapping is certainly essential if you can't extract money or you can't get them to obey by beating them into submission. Then you have to kidnap them as a state apparatus. And so that's what they do. So what I kind of forget the point I was trying to make there, but I think the point I was trying to make is that basically this power is evil inherently. Yeah, and if we allow it to continue, it just is going to breed more evil. I don't think there's any question about it. I think it's a thing that, growing up our whole lives, all we've seen is this state apparatus, this group of people who are exempt from rules, who are allowed
Yes.
to murder, cheat, steal, lie.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
And they
and
say we gave them that power. They will tell you, you voted for that. That is what you agreed to. I'm not so sure about that. I don't agree that they should be able to hurt people and harm and have this crazy power. But they say they are we the people are doing this. I don't know if I buy that fucking argument. They say, because I argue it's a rogue now, that I am a part of that shit too. This is what you agreed to, Joe. So no, I again, I don't, want to fucking go over old ground, but I have to follow the 10 Commandments. I have to follow the laws. I have to be a moral man. But we can take property. We can kidnap. When it becomes we, anything's possible. I'm unsettled with that to no end.
Yeah, I mean, I think if anything, we should say to the politicians, you're not allowed to have any employees. So if you want to go extract money from the citizens, you go do it yourself.
Take your squads out there and try to get him to stop.
That's right. That's right. You go do it yourself. You go knock on my door and say, hey, I'm running this government. So many people elected me. So many people voted in this election. Maybe you weren't one of them, but these other people did. So could you just pay me X amount? And that's dead on arrival. Nobody's paying that guy. That's ridiculous, and that's the way it should be. I don't think that anybody should be able to do what they do. I mean,
do what they do and take your money and make you pay for it. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. And we literally pay the paychecks. I mean, they're hourly. Don't get me wrong; they are hourly. So when the tax collector goes out and he is hunting you down to take your money, he's getting paid that whole time by you. Maybe he hasn't collected your money yet to get paid, but yeah, he's gonna get paid. That's for sure. But all right, I think that we are coming to the end of this stream. We've been going for almost an hour. Joe, thanks for coming up.
It's been great. I'll let you say goodbye to your chat. It's been fun, man.
Thanks a lot, brother. Thanks a lot for coming up to the live stream. I want to say to everybody in the chat, thank you for being here. I want you to, if you haven't already, go over to Carolina Fort Worth's channel. It is in the description. Go over to CJ's channel. Thank him for representing her. I think he might be doing a pro bono, guys. Don't quote me on that, but I think he might be. I mean, this is a horrific event that happened. It's terrible. I think in my community post, I put, this is an unfortunate event. Some people thought I put it as an unfortunate incident, which implies that, just by happenstance it happened. No, I didn't put unfortunate incident. I put an unfortunate event because it is an unfortunate event, whether it was an intentional event by one person or not. It is unfortunate because a good woman, a sweet woman, someone that I've talked to on the phone before, she's a very sweet individual. She wouldn't hurt a fly. She's been attacked by vicious monsters that are sponsored by the people that purport to serve us, right? Our servants just attacked an old woman. What are we going to do about it, guys? So let's stay strong. Let's stay vigilant. Let's think. Let's brainstorm. Let's pass ideas back and forth between each other. What can we do to stop this monster of a state apparatus from continuing forward and annihilating more of our freedoms and usurping more power from we the people? So with that being said, guys, stay safe, stay free. We will see you in the next video. Bye.